WF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top flight journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish out bright future we can't vanish. SE25 any day that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more rivers, reactions, fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Yes, guys, welcome back to Eagle-Eyed Football, and welcome back to another episode of TACT-EAGLE. Yes, this is a different day than it normally is, but that's how the week's going. We'll be back to normal next week, don't you worry. But for this game, it is for our upcoming game tomorrow, Crystal Palace versus Chelsea at Selhurst Park. Even though it's at 3 o'clock, it will be under the lights because it gets dark early. Dan, how's it going? Are you going to be there this week?
Yeah. I am there tomorrow. It's just family things, isn't it? Just busy over Christmas. It was my auntie's birthday on the Southampton game. Boxing Day is never a game I can ever get to. And Arsenal, why didn't I go to Arsenal? And Arsenal was like another Christmas family thing as well. So yeah, it's just being busy really. I'm not proud to say it, but I've only just got on your joke that you said. I was thinking what chat? I don't know what. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling better, but when I put my joke in the chat and no one laughed it, I had to go, Rihanna, please, can you just laugh at the joke because I thought it was amazing. But
I didn't realise his name was actually pronounced like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought his name was Doak.
Nah. So a little bit of context. Rich has already put out short about Diouf and Ben Doak, our bids getting rejected, or about 12.5 million quid, whatever. And then I saw, obviously it's coming from Liverpool sources, Liverpool this, Liverpool that. Someone said Liverpool want 30 million quid from him, and I went, well, I don't think he's even worth 12, in my personal opinion. But we'll move past that. They want 30 million. And then I said in the chat, utter Doak nonsense. And I thought that was brilliant. And no one even laughed at it. Until now. But yeah, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, sorry. I had to be a Simon for that. Sorry. Anyways, big up Rich. Big up Chairman. Put a coat on Dan. Sorry, JC. I'll let you finish.
No.
It's not actually that cold in here. I'm just a bit fidgety today, as normal. Big up, dog. Thank you for tuning in as always. You're not late. You're actually on time. We were just talking about woke nonsense. And yeah, the first thing you heard was JC's woke joke.
It's not woke. Rich said it was a Dan joke. That's why no one laughed. And big up Animal. Let's get straight into it. Let's go for... Oh, no. I didn't practice doing the things. Oh.
I'm pretty sure the first one is the predict.
No, not that one. We got there eventually. So let's go through some injuries. So for Crystal Palace, Matheus França, he is training again, but he's still injured. Adam Wharton, I think in Glasgow's press conference, they kept saying that Wharton keeps getting pushed further and further and further back. I'm starting to think, are we now feeling the repercussions of playing him through this injury? Because it shouldn't take him this long to come back. And I think that us trying to play him and keep him going when he was clearly injured, we're just ruining him. And we should have done the surgery the second we knew he was injured when he came back from England from the Euros. Obviously, misplay there, but I think we're feeding from our mistakes, let's say. Will Hughes has got a foot/ankle injury. Trevor Chalobah is not available because he'll be facing his parent club. Mark Gay will be back. Franco Ume is still injured, and Rob Holden is still chilling with the youth. Moving on to Chelsea. Fofana injured. Badiashile injured. Carney Chukwuemeka, said it right, back. Romeo Lavia back. Mudryk did performance enhancing drugs, and I didn't see no performance being enhanced. Dewsbury Hall injured, and a guy called Kelly Mann also injured. I didn't mention a certain someone that I'm probably going to put into a team here. But we're going to go through Crystal Palace first. In goal, I've gone with Dean Henderson, with Mitchell, Mark Gay, Maxence Lacroix, Chris Richards, and Daniel Munoz as the right back. Decore and Lerma starting because Glasner did confirm that Chet Decore will be starting in this game, with Ebbs on the left, Sarr on the right, and JP Mateta up top. Dan, are you in agreement with this starting 11?
Yeah, I think we said it on the preview yesterday. I think it makes more sense just to put Richard straight in the right centre back. But to be honest, I think this is a very plausible time to have another moan about the lack of depth that we've got. Because realistically, we've got a position that, I guess it kind of encompasses three people. We've got three centre backs effectively. I know they're all slightly different. We've got three centre back roles, and we've only got one, two. Yeah, we've only got 5 centre backs. So, and 2 of them are better on the left hand side. So, no, 3 of them are better on the left hand side. Sorry. So, so I think we're able to have a little bit of a moan there. But yeah, I think that's how it will be.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this is something we might look to strengthen in this January window, or do you think we're just going to fug it out until the end of the season?
Oh, I think we'll definitely see it out to the end of the season. I'm not going to jinx anything, so I won't say anything else. But yeah, I think it's okay for now. And obviously, I know Chalobah, and I suppose we've got 6. I suppose we've got 6. Oh, yeah, no, it's 5. Yeah, sorry, 5. And obviously,
Rob Holding don't
Chalobah's
exist anymore. That's why.
Oh, to be honest, I forgot about Rob Holding. I was thinking I'll just Klein count, but he doesn't, obviously. So.
Anyway, let's move on to Chelsea. Sanchez in goal, Cucurella on the left, Colwill.
Yeah, Colwill.
And Tosin in the middle. Gusto, mate, you going up there because someone's back.
Oh, yeah. Apparently he's getting minutes, actually. Yeah, I did remember seeing. I forgot he existed.
I forgot he existed as well. But the fact that Maresca made a point saying he will be getting minutes says to me he's going to start. I remember the last time when he came back from injury, he scored 2 goals from right back. So, long day for us. Anyway, in the middle, we've gone with Enzo and Caicedo. On the left, I've gone with Jadon Sancho over Pedro Neto, in my opinion. Palmer in the middle, Madueke on the right with Nico Jackson up top. Good bench. Again, they've just got so many players. You could literally put a whole starting 11 up there. They'll probably still do all right in the Premier League. So we've got Neto and Kunku, Felix, Lavia, Chukwuemeka, Gusto, and Disaster, as Dan's Chelsea friends call him. Dan, are you agreeing with this? Are you disagreeing with this? What changes would you make?
I actually disagree about Reece James. I don't think he will start. I don't like. He's made of glass, and I think to play him straight away off the bat, I think would be a bit silly of them. I think he'll be subbed. I think he will get minutes, but I don't think he'll start. And I think for them, he'll start probably in their FA Cup game just to get more minutes because they're only playing Morecambe. Yeah, I mean the thing is, they're wingers. They've got so much depth in those positions, like where Madueke and Sancho play. You could have Chukwuemeka, you could have João Felix, You know, they've got a lot of depth in those places.
100%. And with the amount of depth that they've got there, it's also the amount of quality that they've got in that depth as well. Because Sancho, like a few years ago at Dortmund, he was like the next big thing in the whole world right now. So obviously he's not hitting the heights that he was predicted, but he's still not a bad player. He's still very good.
Absolutely, and I think as well, the unfortunate thing that's happened to him is that he went to Man United. So you don't exactly have a good track record with improving players.
No, that's one thing that I have seen a lot of people say. They've said Man United only make players worse.
Well, it's true though. Like I think because I know I've said it before, whether it was on here or to I don't know real life, whatever, I can't remember. But without getting too off tangent here, like they haven't got a single non-academy player who's gotten better. Yeah, they haven't got a single non-academy player who's gotten better in the past sort of. You know what? I'm going to go as far to say maybe after who came in after Moyes. Can't remember. But certainly within the past like 5-6 years, I would say. The only one who you might argue maybe is Fernandez, or Fernandes as he's.
What about Dan James?
Dan James
still sold him for 50 mil though, so
forgot he even existed, to be honest.
I didn't remember because he scored his bloody debut goal against us. Pagan.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
All right, let's go through some comments before going into Chelsea's attack. 200% agree with Wharton not playing through the injury. It was stupid. Well, we literally saw the outcome of playing a player through their injury with Nathan Ferguson, and we saw how that ended. I really don't hope that's what happened with. I really hope that's not what happens with Adam Wharton.
Yeah, I think as well. I think they knew about it even before he came back from England because I think they discovered it in the England camp, I believe.
Glasner helped you a little bit. Rob Holden, it's a grunge.
It's a grunge.
Ben Doak's highlights look very good. I disagree a little bit. He's still a good player. Don't know if he's Prem quality as of yet. That's what I'll say. But if Glasner wants him, I'll back it. Bill Animal, any chance we get can spike their A and B team with performance enhancing drugs and scheduled a test all by tomorrow.
Mudryk been giving them out.
Yeah, popping pills. Dog Pagan. Is he trying? He's trying to say something again, isn't he? Big up Damo.
Big up Damo.
Big up Damo. All right. I caught on to you, the dog. You ain't beating me today. Let's go to how proper Chelsea attack.
Don't say.
No. I'm having a mare today. I really am.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get on to it. Let's delve into some detail.
Let's get it.
So, they don't play like how they set up. Their formation is 4-2-3-1. They never play like that. No matter what's happening. If they have the ball, they don't play like that. If they're defending, they don't play like that. So it's a very, very rotational type of play. Their play is ever so slightly different depending on who they're playing against, what the situation is, and basically the players that they have on the pitch. So this is like the lemon herb setup for them. This is what you get every single time when you play against Chelsea. So this is the base. You have three at the back. You got 2 in midfield, and then basically you got 5 up front. 3-2-5 sounds mental, but let's get into it. You might be wondering, JC, why is Cucurella in the 10? Because they do a nice little thing that Dan absolutely loves. It's called an inverted fullback. Dan, why do you love inverted fullback so much?
Well, I don't know if I love them, but why they're good is generally it's a bit of Cucurella's a bit of a weird inverted fullback, but in this case, but normally you'd invert them because if you get hit on the counter, it just means that your defensive players are in a better position. Rather than them being all the way up the pitch overlapping, they're in the middle, so then they can recover better, basically.
Mm-hmm. But instead of a normal invert, which would cause the player to be around about here, they invert up here in the 10 position to be much more involved in going forwards and attacking our team. They do this to create overloads in the attacking third, which, to be fair, has been working for them. So you might be asking, oh, well, what if the ball is over on this side? Let me get a ball. The ball is over on this side. Cucurella will not be here. What will happen is that this back line will shift over that way. Cucurella will drop in here. Palmer will move into the other sided 10, and Gusto will move into the 10 in this position. But Gusto is a slightly different kind of fullback where he can pick up this central area. But what they prefer to do in this situation, especially if Madueke is out there, Madueke will take the spot on the inside here and Gusto will press out wide. That is purely because Madueke is left-footed and they just want him to shoot on that left foot. So this side, they could be swap. It doesn't really matter what happens. But on this side of Cucurella, he only ever runs on the inside towards the 10. So the ball's over here. Palmer comes over here. The ball's over here. Palmer comes over here. And Cuckoo comes up. So very, very fluid in what they do. I think we said earlier, Reece James is coming back. So he will only be this outside fullback because I don't think he's actually played in a Mosquera system where he's run on the inside before, but I don't see why he couldn't do it when he comes back. But let's say, oh no, Chelsea are in a little bit of bother. They are losing. They're trying to get back into the game. What does Mosquera do? He does this. And then it goes to a 3-1-6. Extremely attacking, extremely forward thinking as well, and it's a bit daunting. Let's be real. You're gonna have loads of players hunting down your back line. If you're trying to pass out from the back, don't bother because Mosquera likes to press up high. I'm sure Dan's gonna talk to you a little bit more about that when he's talking about how they defend, but from how I'll say that they use it in attacking is they like to swarm the ball basically, and because they've got so many people up front, let's just use Chris Richards as an example. Not the best on the ball, and I think Dan, you'd agree with that.
What are you talking about? I think he's amazing.
Yeah, hi. But if he has the ball here and he's trying to find Sarr, they will push up. Cucurella will push up. Cole will go touch tight with Mateta. Person will push up. You'll get pressing in like a big front. So Palm will push. Oh, I don't want to turn around. Sancho will leave his man and go in here. Jackson will try and run in here. And then Enzo will cut the passing lane to the easiest option. And remember I said he will cut the passing lane to the easiest option. Obviously, this is very much how defense turns into attack for us. But if Richards could find that free pass to Decore, which is a much harder pass, almost automatically, if Lerma runs, we've automatically got an overload scenario when going forward. So transitions, they hate transitions. But how do they attack? let's go into a situation where it's very neutral. It's 0-0. Everyone's chilling. Let's move everyone back. Yeah. Cool. So, one thing with Chelsea that is something that other managers like to do in their teams. We talk about it every single time we talk about Aston Villa. They go from back to front extremely quickly, and they like to break the lines. Where teams like to break the lines, I mean, normally they like to break the lines like this. They like to go forwards. They want to break the line in the middle here, and then normally you'd have a player in the middle here to stop this pass going from Cucurella to Palmer or Cucurella to Sancho. So that is why we have our players in around these ways. We don't want them to pass outside and get into the wide areas. We want to contain people as much as possible. Granted, we've got a back five, so we back ourselves to defend like this. But how they actually work the ball forwards is they're actually quite a press-resistant team, depending on who they play at centre-back. For example, if this guy's playing, let me just make it bigger. If he's playing, press him, please. Please. He cannot pass. He cannot pass forwards. He cannot pass back. He's awful.
Can he pass sideways?
No, he's gone. You know what? We're cussing him. He's going to have a blinder on the weekend. But if he's there, press him. But if he's not there, Cowell is a master at baiting a press and passing through it. He was taught it at Brighton, unfortunately, but he's actually gotten very good at it, and he's actually improved his skills. He's actually waiting a lot more, like being a lot more risky with it. So he has actually been overturned quite a few times because of how much he's waiting on the forward to press him. And I think there's been like a few shots on goal because of the mistake he's made, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But they are not a conventional team when breaking through the lines. They will pass diagonally to make it through the lines. They won't go straight through, they'll go diagonally. So instead of this pass going from Cucurella here, excuse me, straight to Palmer, this pass will go diagonally. So Sarr and Eze in their normal positions. They're cutting off that pass in there, that pass in there. We're fine with the ball going out to Sancho and Gusto here. That's absolutely okay. But what you will see them doing is they'll pass inside. They'll break the lines this way instead of this way. So, for example, if Cucurella passes it here, they've broken that line between Sarr and Mateta here. And then what happens here? Decore gambles. He'll probably look to cut off the Jackson pass. And what happens again? A diagonal pass, breaking that line between Decore and Eze. And in this situation, Madueke is more than capable of running and taking on his man. But because they've got 5 players, they are going to be making all different kinds of runs to bait our players out of the way to manipulate our backline. So, Gusto will go. He'll bring Mitchell with him. And basically, one thing that I think is very smart, because of all these players, what they'll do is they'll all run into someone else's space. So even though all the players are taking up the exact same position, they're all going to be running into someone else's space. And bearing in mind, we zonal mark, even outside of set pieces, this could be a big problem for us. So let's use this as an example. Jackson runs into this space. So Madueke, dribble. He'll make a run there. So that's an option. Mark will pull off. And then you'll see Palmer running up here.
Mark will do what, sorry?
Huh?
Mark will do what, sorry?
he'll get pulled back.
Oh, if we said he'd get pulled off.
Brother,
Sorry.
my guy, you cannot do that. How do we progress from that, Dan?
I think we just ignore that it happened.
No. Yeah, Jackson makes that run, Palmer makes that run, and Sancho makes that one. And because they're making their runs, they're dragging players out of the way. Means Madueke can either pick a pass inside, or he's free outside the box and he can shoot. The other thing that I think is something that's very underrated and has happened a lot more recently. Who's at the door? 1 second, mate. I will be turning off my camera but still speaking.
Right.
I'm just getting dashed out of the way. Anyway, one thing that is a little bit different that they do, and they've done it a lot more recently. Damn. Enzo Fernandez. Ever since he got divorced, he's a different man. Because he has got no goals, no assists, and was absolutely awful. However, since being divorced, he's got 4 goals and 3 assists in 10 games. And why is that? Because Maresca's sort of leaving him, when in possession, he's leaving him in more of a free-flowing role, where he's allowed to pick up the ball, run with the ball, dribble with the ball, and create something. He's a very, very good passer of the ball. This is shown because when you go on to FB Ref and you have a good look at the stats, on average, this season, he has made 4.03 shot creating actions per 90.
Wow, that's very good for a central midfielder.
That is incredible, Dan. He has 1.1 take-ons per 90 with the ball at his feet. He is dictating the play. He's able to pass long. He's able to pass short. He's basically what they wanted Jorginho to be when he was at Chelsea, but he can actually move with the ball, and he's a powerful runner as well. He will dictate the play. If I was going to say one thing about how we can defend against them, obviously we haven't actually seen them play against a back 5 like how we play, unless it was us at the start of the season. Granted, at the start of the season, we were much worse, and so were they, and they're much better than they are at the start of the season as well. So potentially that could balance it out. But what I would say is that they did struggle to break down a low block. So even though they've got a lot of talent, they did struggle to break down that low block. But this was when Enzo Fernandez still had a wife.
Yes, that really gives meaning to the phrase "ball and chain," doesn't it?
Pretty much. But I think this is going to be a tough game. We need to defend. We have to defend deep. We have to try and keep that low block because they do struggle to make their way through it. Yes, they have the quality to break through it with Cole Palmer and the quick feet and this and that. But we need to make this game as hard as possible for Chelsea. We need to make it more about individual brilliance to beat us and less about us making mistakes. Because to be fair, that's how we've been losing most of the time this season. We've been making our own mistakes, which then lead up to goals. Because I think until a few weeks ago, I actually thought the only game we should have lost and deserved to lose was, I don't know, Fulham and Arsenal so far this season. So we want to make it difficult as possible for Chelsea. And I do actually think there are some cracks in how they operate because of how much I've said they throw forwards. Like if they're losing, they'll go 3-5, 3-1-6. Literally one turnover in possession, and we will have an overload going forwards. But we have to be very brave because if we go forwards and then we don't score, we're finished as well because they've still got all 6 of their players up the pitch. So this is going to be an extremely high risk, high reward game of football. And we should not press unless Disasi's there, and we should not press if it's not a coordinated press. If we're not coordinated, if we're not pressing like we did against Spurs, don't bother because if we move one person out of position, they'll just diagonally pass through us, and then that's it, game over. Dan, anything else you want to add on how Chelsea attack, how we should defend against them?
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. Only thing I might say, actually, no, you already said it. To be fair, like I think it's actually important to know that Maresca does tweak things slightly depending on who he plays. So, yeah. But
like on that one side where I said Madueke would rather pick up the inside spot and Gusto would go out wide. If Neto plays out there, Neto will stay out wide and Gusto will run inside. So it's very much fluid. And like I said, if you can catch them in that transition, they're still moving around their position. So their actual location of where some of their players are, if you catch them off guard, they'll just be all over the place.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Quickly into some more comments. The dog says França looks so lonely every Palace training video.
Do you know why though? Because he's had his own individual training plan for like the last
8 months.
Yeah, something like that. Like he got that groin injury and he just hope the missus was worth it.
Yeah. That trip to France.
That was an expensive trip.
Yeah. Do you think that they deduct wages if you're injured, or do you think he's getting his full whack?
No. You get your full whack. Like if you're injured, innit?
Yeah, I need that kind of sick pay at work. 6 days sick pay is woke. França needs to eat his Weetabix. Palmer and Santo doubling up on Richards. This is going to be brutal. Personally, I'd start Klein. I'm surprised you didn't suggest Schlupp.
I was thinking exactly that as well.
Schlupp at left wing back.
I don't know. I think Klein got a bit brutalised against Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah. Didn't have the best game, did he? I believe in Richards. He can be done for pace. I think he'd be dealing with Sancho. To be fair, Richards is very good in the air. Very good in the air. Do you know if Malcolm will play against Stockport?
Will he play in the under-21s is probably a better question.
I mean, wait, I actually took a screenshot of this earlier. So I saw the announcement from Oxford's Twitter and I took a screenshot because I saw some of the Oxford fans' replies to when he went. And when they announced he's gone back to Palace, it said, I don't know if you can read that, but it basically says, "Thank God, awful attitude, had so much promise but couldn't deliver. Praise the effing Lord. Thank God, and who is this guy?"
Yeah, I think, without getting too much into it, I think it's better for everyone that he just goes to maybe a Championship or League One side, just rebuilds his career there.
I think he needs to go to League One. He's tried the Championship twice. Hull City, Oxford now. I don't think he's going to be the one.
Yeah.
Understand we've gone in with our second bid for Doak. Have we? I've only seen the first bid that got rejected. I do think that. Let me have a quick look. Pirates make a second offer for 22 million. That's a lot of money.
Oh wow! So
if to be fair, if we're spending that kind of money, ask Leon first. I'm not saying that we're going to get Cherky for 22, but I'd rather Cherky than this guy. But like I said at the start of the stream, if Glasner wants him, if Glasner thinks he's the guy, I'll back it.
So Wharton cost 18 but could rise to 22. Okay, I was just comparing the two.
Damo saying, is he getting pulled off? I don't know.
Don't
you
know.
Tell me.
He could be right now. Who knows?
It's the Sassy. Gay getting pulled off by Palmer. Yeah, you are disgusting. Dirty. Chose injured Palmer in the first min. He's also going down to 10. Hey, Dan, you said the thing.
Hey.
Dan, who won the 5-a-side?
I don't want to talk about it. No.
How many goals did you concede in goal?
I didn't go in goal, actually. My mate stayed in goal because I was going to do a half each, but he stayed in goal. Put it this way. It was a classic post-Christmas game where no one's played in like 2-3 weeks.
Everyone's still stuck
and
on food.
we didn't have a sub, and they did have a sub.
Fitness was the issue.
Yeah. My legs were like noodles afterwards. That's all I'm going to say.
JC and Dan, what do we need to do differently from the previous game at their ground?
So I think it's so difficult to say exactly what to do differently because, and the reason why I say this is because I've gone to look at our lineup on that day, right? So this was our lineup. We had Dean Henson in goal. Our back three, right, was Chris Richards at left centre back, Mark Gay at central centre back, and Nathaniel Klein at right centre back. So, yeah. And then we also had the only other differences, really, you had Wharton playing was that game alongside Hughes. Kamada also played that game as well. So I think the fact that we got such a different lineup is, yeah, it's hard to say. And also Chelsea have evolved as well. So
yeah, but both teams, like I said, both teams have gotten so much better since the start of the season when we played them. And in that fixture, Decore was the game changer, wasn't he? The second he came on, the whole team changed. But that was the first and only time I think we've actually seen Wharton Decore in the midfield together, and that was incredible.
Absolutely.
But what I would say is, I'd just say keep playing like how we have been playing, and the only thing I would say is, obviously, Michael Owen coming out here. So we need to take our chances.
Yeah.
And also, we say it again, with every single big team, there has to be some luck involved. And I'm saying that spotted Malcolm's attitude under Vieira.
Yeah, I thought, because I remember I think we watched him, didn't we, playing for the under-21s. And in my opinion, if you're a senior player and you don't stand out in the under-21s with a point to prove, that's not good. But yeah.
Who's that guy's name? JC, give me details. What guy's name?
The Oxford fan. The Oxford fans on the.
If you if you want to go onto Oxford's Twitter and find the post, then go ahead. It says we know who didn't win the 5-a-side. Then
let's just say I had a fish and chips today with a battered sausage, and I think we got more battered last night, to be honest.
I guess I'm doing the defense now. Let me find a video. This.
I am back. And actually, to be fair, our performance wasn't as bad as the scoreline suggested, I don't think. I thought we were better than it was, but oh well. We'll be back next week, stronger and better. Right. Anyways.
Do you want to hear someone's predicted team for tomorrow on Twitter? This is amazing.
A Palace fan or a Chelsea fan?
A Palace fan.
Okay.
They said Henderson, Riyadh.
Okay.
Lacroix Richards.
Wait, what?
Mitchell, Lerma, Decore, Munoz.
Right.
Eze, Benteke. Batshuayi. Yeah. So elite trolling's going on right now. Brilliant. Anyway, go on.
You had me in the first half. Yeah. What was I saying? Okay, yeah. So enough about my the XG of my five-a-side game. Let's talk about the XG of Chelsea. So, where do they rank at the moment? So they actually rank 12th for their XG against. So they do concede a lot of chances. And actually, they rank 15th away from home in terms of their XG conceded.
Oh,
that's a lot. That is a lot. And bearing in mind as well, they actually no, sorry, not bear in mind. Ignore that one. Now, they've been quite fortunate in the goals that they have conceded as well, because their goalkeepers actually have saved 3.7 more than statistically they should have. And actually, their opponents have underscored their XG. So as in XG created against Chelsea, how many goals have been conceded? Minus 4.7 so far this season. Chelsea's opponents have managed against them. In fact, only Ipswich is lower, and obviously Ipswich concede a lot of chances, just generally. Now, where do some of these flaws lay? I know JC's alluded to them, and I'm going to give us the stats just straight away here. So they actually rank 5th best for the amount of shots they concede. However, they do rank 5th highest for their XG per shot, 0.12. So they concede high chances, although they don't necessarily concede very many shots. And if you look at any kind of box entry stats, so carries, passes, crosses, anything like that, they all rank pretty low, like around about the bottom 5 or so. So to me, that suggests that when teams do enter their penalty area, they, a high chance is usually given. Now, why might that be? Well, you ask. There are several things. So let me go on to here. So like JC said, when they need the goal, right? Where's Colin? There he is. I haven't named the left back because,
Pagan.
So let's say it looks something like this at the moment, etc., etc., etc. And we're kind of sat in a low block or whatever it is. It'd look a bit different to this, whatever. But let's say that they do a bad pass, say to Enzo Fernandez or whoever's occupying his space, and let's say we win the ball here. JC's already alluded to it, but there is a big, big problem for them in this position. And I think you can work that out. Don't need me to tell you. And let's say we're breaking away. All their players are all the way up here, What you'll see as they're running with the ball, they will go more narrow. So there will be spaces to exploit over here and possibly over here. The players will try to track back these particular players, like the left back, sideshow flop, and also their right-sided winger will try and track players as well. So you will see them try to get back and try to help out, basically. But as you can see, this would not be a good position for them to be in. And we can try and fashion a chance in this kind of way. We can try and work the ball out wide from here, cross it in. We can maybe, if we time it right, there's an opportunity for a ball over the top or whatever. But point is, if we catch them in a mid block, then we can definitely hit them on the break. Now, another really big fit, and this is kind of tied together, actually. It's kind of similar. So they actually rank 3rd worst for the amount of shots they concede that came from defensive actions. So that's an interception or a tackle. Now, they are very, very error prone, really error prone. Like if you watch the chances created by other teams against them, a lot of them is because it's just sloppy. And this is where it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit, because you'll see, you'll see them occupying these spaces. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say they've gone up, like they're doing their 6 and what have you, 3-1-6, and they will. They will, like, they'll try and pass out, and when they do it effectively, like JC said, it's really effective. Like they'll do their little staggered, they'll do their staggered lines where, maybe Caicedo gets the ball here and then, pops it around there, etc., to break the lines. But they are very sloppy with these passes. So there will be opportunities where you can win it in this mid block over here. So, and it could just be like a simple fact of like, or maybe even like, I don't know, maybe even Madueke goes wider, and then Gusto does, or whoever it is, passes the ball there, and Mitchell is just a bit strong and wins it there. Again, that is something that you actually see enough to actually make it a viable option for us to attack. Now, how do they actually defend? So all right, I'm not really going to talk about a low block. The reason why I'm not going to talk about a low block is because they generally keep the ball for 58% of the game. And we keep the ball for about 44% of the game.
Yeah.
So we're not really going to see low blocks very often. If you do, it will just be like a standard back four. And then whoever's the right-sided player will be kind of man marking whoever the winger is. So then it will look kind of like this, which is actually something you see quite regularly anyway. And then, it will just look simple like that. So I'm not going to bother talking about that too much because we won't really see that very often. But what we will see very often is their high press. So let's set us up how we would do it. So to be honest, we basically play like a 4 at the back when we're playing out from a goal kick. And we'll have our double pivots here, and we'll have these players kind of like over here, sort of something a little bit like this. And Eze will drop a little bit deeper than Sarr, and so on and so forth. Now, the way they do this is they are basically like a man-to-man press team. Like they will really go for it when the opportunity presents itself. So let's say, Lacroix's got the ball here. As soon as that ball is passed, Jackson, let's say to Lacroix, Jackson is going to be on this player. And when I say they're man marking, like they really are. So let's say, I don't know, like these players will push up. They will all have a man. Whether Cucurella goes to the left or goes to the middle, I don't know. He'll probably tweak that a little bit. But Madueke will be watching Ty Mitchell. One of Caicedo or Fernandez will be pushing up here. I'd imagine it will probably be, say, Fernandez, and then maybe Gusto will push up to see Eze. They will really go man to man with these, and as you can imagine, if you see, I don't really like man to man ones really, because the thing is, if you mess up or you just play a 1-2, which I'll talk about in a minute, then your whole system kind of falls apart a little bit. Because let's say Caicedo's pushed up, their midfielders are pushed up onto our midfielders, and Palmer's running here, and then passes it to Gay, so then Jackson's going there. All it takes, right? Oh, that's a really tiny football. All it takes is for, let's say, Eze to drop, pulls Gusto out of position, which Eze does seem to drop a bit deeper, I think, now. So all it takes is for Gay to say pass. The press is not quite 100% there. Pass it to Eze, and then you've got, say, an opportunity where Mateta drops, pass it there, does a nice 1-2, and you could. I mean, this is a very exaggerated example. Obviously, they'll have a bit better cover than this, but all it takes is to do a 1-2, and you've basically gotten past your man. Or let's say, okay, let's say Gusto drops a little bit and whatever. And let's say, I don't know, maybe let's say they don't go as hard for now. So the quad decides to move a bit further out, and then we're kind of allowing this a little bit, let's say. The quad's there, and that now Palmer's pressing. Okay, all it takes is for then to the quad to ping a ball, say, into Sar, maybe Munoz to come a little bit short. So then Cucurella is not quite pressing the man. And you've got Munoz, say, moving inside, and then you've got Sar making that run in there. Attackers are always going to be quicker than defenders because obviously you need processing time to think about when you do it. And these split seconds make all the difference. Another thing as well with their press is that their counter press is also very, very strong. So like JC was saying, we've got a lot of, they got a lot of players over here. So their counter press is like this guy learned under Pep Guardiola. So it shouldn't be that surprising really. But let's say they lose the ball over here. Palmer's got the ball over here. They've got, let's say he loses it here. You've got several players around there and so on and so forth. But the thing is, and especially if they lose it, say more in like a mid block, let's say, and let's say that they've done a bad pass kind of over here. They still do this counter press over here. They still want it like over here, and they'll all kind of gravitate over to this side. So when they are all around, like surrounding the player like this, again, all it takes, if you time it right, is one pass out, and then suddenly they're looking a little bit light So if we can kind of beat that counter press, then we are kind of quids in there really. And that's kind of it really. The only other thing possibly to note about is that they do commit a lot of fouls, and they do concede a lot of shots from dead ball situations. So that could also be a potential avenue for us. Interestingly as well, opponents against Chelsea have gotten the second most offsides of any team not any team, but teams that have played Chelsea have the second most amount of offsides of any other side in the league. The only other team that I guess win more offsides is actually Brighton. But I think that kind of demonstrates my point is that there's a lot of space. There's going to be a lot of space in behind for us to work with, whether that's from us winning it in a mid block or is them making a mistake. Point is, there's going to be a lot of space, and teams are trying to exploit that. Hence, why offsides are so high. And that's kind of it, really. In summary, I would say try and hit them in a mid block. We can afford to give this space in behind here. Jackson is quick, but I don't think he's quicker than Lacroix. And obviously, Hendo's pretty decent at getting off his line. And also the others, I wouldn't say are that rapid, really. Like Sancho's quick, but I wouldn't say he's like stupidly quick. Again, Madueke as well, quick, but not stupidly quick. So I think we can afford to be playing in a high line, low block. And then if we hope that they, mess it up like they have done quite a lot. Where's my areas? Then, we can win it here and then generate a transition over there, whether that's because their counter press is a bit not quite on it or, whether that's just a mistake that leaves them vulnerable. And yeah, that's kind of it really.
I think one thing that I saw when I was, just watching through some games and seeing some issues that they were having is that they concede a hell of a lot of shots from outside the box as well. So, for example, if you run him, so if you catch him on the transition, you run him behind, they save it or they block it, and the ball drops to the outside of the box.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got players running in, they're gonna get. If you've got midfielders running in to hit the ball, their forwards, even though they have got a fullback up there in the 10, they're not running back.
Yeah,
So
no, absolutely not.
basically, the second that Dan, do you want to pull Eze and everyone forwards all the way into the box?
Well, all right, yeah. So we're kind of on the transition.
So if you put Gusto, Tosin, and Colwell into the box,
Yeah, because at this point they defend very narrow.
and then basically if you've got, so let's just say, for example, let's say Lerma standing next to Caicedo, so goal side of Caicedo. If the ball drops, you've got Eze, Lerma, and Sarr, depending on wherever the ball drops outside the box, and they can literally just hit it. And I think they've conceded the second most goals from outside of the box as well of any team, if I remember correctly.
Let's have a look. Because I think
Eze has scored the second most goals from outside of the box in the year 2024 in all players in Europe, which I didn't know until yesterday.
Sorry, say again. So I was just looking at the. Sorry, say again.
So I know that Eze has scored the second most goals from outside the box in Europe in the year of 2024.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that shocks me.
I think it's like 7 or 8.
Jesus. Wow, that's crazy.
So if he's good at shooting from outside the box, and this is a team that concede a lot of shots from outside the box, then you might as well.
Do you know what I think maybe that might be? I think because obviously, because normally you kind of think of shooting from outside the box as being like you do it, when you're trying to break down a team, just trying to get something, or I don't know, maybe it is frustration or something like that. But I think against Chelsea, because they get hit on the break so much, obviously, let's say that Eze's in this position here, right? And let's say, they're just here. The XG, for example, on this shot, compared to if it was in a low block with all the players back here, let's say, is way, 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 way different. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think realistically, we got to accept we're not going to have the ball, and very much. And I think we just got to try and go in the mid block, hit them on the counter, use their attack against them in the sense of how much they commit, and and also utilize the fact that they are a very sloppy team as well. So they play a lot of risky balls, and obviously that combined with the fact that they are young, they are maybe a bit inexperienced. I think that can work in our favour, because honestly, when I was looking back at all the chances they've conceded in the last 5-6 games, all the good, decent chances, I would say most of them were from a mistake, or where they were or where the other team did. Especially Fulham are really good at doing this, doing 1-2s to just kind of carve their man-to-man style along with their counter press kind of apart a little bit.
A few more comments. I still like the Sam Greenwood transfer. I suggested that the other day when we were on the stream on a reaction. I don't know if you know a lot about him, but I think he's some guy you should do a thread on, definitely.
Yeah, I think for now I'm only going to do really in-depth threads if we sign someone, just because. Yeah.
Oh, like a what we're going to get kind of thing.
Yeah, because the thing is, I don't really like doing them through the window just because people think that it's like a transfer rumor. So I don't really I don't want to be that guy.
I don't want to be posting false information.
Yeah, exactly.
Colin here saying, am I right that we are 7th in the table for chances created?
I
don't know, but I know that Munoz has created the most chance out of any fullback in the league, more than Trent.
Is he really? I didn't know that. Well, in terms of XG, we rank We rank 13th for XG. In terms of the amount of shots we have, we rank one. Yeah, we actually do rank 1, 2, 3. We rank 8th actually for the amount of shots that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wow, actually. Yeah, we rank second worst for the converting them though, still.
Animal here says, I'd rather spend 20 million on Numa from Leon. I'll probably agree with that. Ipswich had so little possession against them and they still won 2-0.
Yeah, that's it. Like, yeah.
They just couldn't break it down. And they didn't take their chances because they had quite a few good chances, actually.
Yeah. And actually, I think that raises a good point, actually. I know I've said it before. I think I said it yesterday. But the thing is with Chelsea as well, I feel like if you kind of get at them and you get ahead of them, like they
Their
can't
heads drop.
Yeah, I feel like their heads drop. And also, especially in the second half, I don't think because of the way that they play, I don't think they've really got the legs to continue it in the second half as well.
Well, because of the high intensity that they play.
Yeah, exactly.
Colin here says, the way Glasner broke down Chelsea formation, I think he'll bring it tomorrow. And final comment is Dan, the misinformation man. He's not a stat man anymore.
Misinformation man.
I like it. You should change your at.
Yeah.
Down to misinformation.
Yeah, down to misinformation.
Score predictions. I will throw myself under the bus, but we kind of spoke about it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with mine. I've already put it in the Discord as well.
Oh, is there a game today?
No. It's I don't even know if... No, you're good. I don't even know. Let me just check if there's an early kickoff tomorrow. I'm gonna do mine. Yeah, there is an early kickoff tomorrow. So yeah, I'm
gonna do mine the second we're done on stream. Yeah. So you went with 1-1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 2-1 Chelsea still, because I think the fact they haven't won in 3 games, I think they're gonna batter. I would say batter us. But I think that they're going to be looking to right some wrongs because they haven't been playing too good either last few games.
Yeah.
But I'd say 2-1 Chelsea. You're saying 1-1. Cool.
Yeah.
Animal saying 2-1 Palace. So, he's feeling confident. And so basically score first then. No problem. And Earth is saying 2-1 Palace as well.
I think if there was ever a time to play them in the season, I feel like now is a good time to play them.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Dan, is there anything else you want to say before we round up?
No, just up the Palace, really.
Colin saying 3-1, 2 Sarr and a Munoz goal. Guys, thank you very, very much for watching. And as always,